We are not seeking direct confrontation with Russia, though I've been clear that if Russia targets Americans in Ukraine, we will respond forcefully. And if Russia attacks the United States or our allies through asymmetric means, like disruptive cyber attacks against our companies or critical infrastructure, we are prepared to respond. But we're moving in lockstep with our NATO allies and partners to deepen our collective defense against threats in cyberspace. Two paths are still open. For the sake of historic responsibility, Russia and the United States share for global stability, for the sake of our common future, to choose diplomacy. But let there be no doubt. If Russia commits this breach by invading Ukraine, responsible nations around the world will not hesitate to respond. If we do not stand for freedom where it is at risk today, we'll surely pay a steeper price tomorrow. Thank you. I'll keep you informed.
David, what about the cyber attack today? We've been hearing for a long time that one of the ways a Russian invasion could start is with cyber attacks designed to hamstring Ukrainian communications. So is this the cyber attack that we've been watching for?
Well, this is what's called a denial of service cyber attack, in which you just flood a website with so many hits that it crashes. And they've done that to some Ministry of Defense websites and some state-owned bank websites in Ukraine. But the Russians are capable of much, much more than that. They basically have the capability to shut down all digital communications in, say, the capital of Kyiv. So on the scale of what the Russians are capable of, these rank sort of as nuisance attacks. And I think if they are precursors to an invasion, they are the early precursors designed to sow confusion and maybe even panic. Because, of course, when you start taking down the websites of banks, people start to worry about their savings. But the attacks that people expect ahead of a Russian invasion would be much more severe and might well include airstrikes as well as cyber attacks.
The tensions just seem to get higher every day. David Martin, thank you so much.
Well, tensions at the Ukraine border just keep growing as Russia shows no sign of backing down.
And now we are learning about several incidents where Russian fighter jets buzzed U.S. Navy patrol planes. Our D.C. Bureau Chief Ben Kennedy is live at the White House with more. Ben.
Nicole Calvin, in one case, it is reported U.S.-Russia jets came within 5 feet of each other, a move the White House calls unprofessional.
We're in the window where we believe an attack could come at any time.
In response, the U.S. sent troops to Eastern Europe. The latest deployment out of Fort Campbell seen leaving Wednesday morning for Poland. It's there they'll bolster NATO allies amid fears Russia could invade Ukraine.
What we see today is that Russia maintains a massive invasion force.
With no signs of de-escalation after the Kremlin says some of their forces were pulled back this week, a move disputed by the U.S.
We certainly have not been able to verify them, and in fact, we have seen the opposite taking place.
I regret to say that this is the new normal in Europe.
A new normal that includes more than 150,000 Russian troops on Ukraine's border.
A massive number of forces. We also know that the Russians have capabilities when it comes to electronic warfare.
Electronic warfare would likely be the first sign of an invasion, the U.S. believes, followed by an air bombardment of Ukraine's critical infrastructure and then an attack on the capital, Kyiv, as the White House continues to push for a diplomatic end to this crisis.
We still believe there is the possibility for a diplomatic resolution to this.
And Russia says they are ready to continue those talks. They do not want Ukraine to join NATO, a non-starter for the U.S. as both sides look for some common ground to resolve this standoff. Reporting live at the White House, Ben Kennedy, Local 10 News.
Ben.
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me, keep my commandments.